Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Brelsford from SMB Nation out here on, might I say, sunny Bainbridge Island in the Seattle area. We're very fortunate today to have a high-pressure system for the next 5 days. We're lining up a bunch of good folks to get together starting this afternoon at Microsoft Redmond for our spring conference. I'll make mention of that later on, and how at this late date you could still jump on a Southwest Airlines plane and participate. But we're also fortunate to have Carbonite, who's making some dramatic and rapid inroads into the SMB community. I mean, you guys are I guess on CNBC we'd call you a rocket, and it's I'm excited. I'm excited about today's messaging from Carbonite. Certainly a well-known and well-respected brand. Now, folks, a little bit of housekeeping. It's 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast, and this time of year it should be late afternoon, early evening over in Europe with the time zone change. So we typically have visitors, a couple visitors, some from Ireland and the UK that log on and listen to what we have to say. As our intentions are to always deliver an educational webinar each week. This is our Thursday series. We'll keep your trust and honor in doing that with the Carbonite event, and we'll also respect your time. And I just want to make note that, everybody's busy. I mean, as we called around and chit-chatted with everybody about the spring conference, we found out one of your biggest roadblocks is time right now. Everybody's stuffed with work, and while a good thing, it makes it a challenge to also continue to educate yourself. So we appreciate you taking an hour out of your busy day on a Thursday to participate in this webinar. And I do just want to give a shout out for those of you that celebrate Cinco de Mayo. That's May 5th. It's Sunday. Have a good one. I hope to do the same. So there we are. With that said, use the chat feature to ask your questions. I'm going to remind you a couple of times about that at midpoint. So use the chat feature to ask your questions, and Heather over in the control room will sort it all out, and we'll be able to ask questions, answer your questions. With that said, David, where are you, sir? And let's get going. Are you back? Are you in Boston, sir?
Hey, Harry, it's great to be here. Yeah, we're in Boston. I think we have the same high-pressure system that you have on the West Coast, on the East Coast here. So beautiful day, and happy to be here and appreciate everybody's time.
Absolutely. Let's get started.
Perfect. So what I wanted to talk to everybody about today, and again, appreciate everybody's time. I know everybody's life is busy and hectic. But talk about Carbonite a little bit and talk about some of the best practices that we've seen here about how to position Carbonite's backup system with your services and help you really drive sales at the end of the day. So as far as the agenda for today, really straightforward, really simple, but what are some of the ways that we can position Carbonite backup to your clients that you currently have and to the prospects that you are trying to work with? What are the different Carbonite packages that we offer, and who do they really work for, and how do they work for them as your clients grow? Obviously, as your clients grow, you want to be able to grow along with them and offer more services to them. And then how to leverage Carbonite solutions to gain additional revenue. So before we get started with the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the presentation, we wanted to give you a little bit of a snapshot of who Carbonite is. For those of you who don't know Carbonite began back in 2005. We went public in 2011, so a little bit over 2 years ago. And we have subscribers in more than 100 countries, so we have subscribers all over the world, and we've protected hundreds of billions of files, and we have about 100 petabytes of data that's up in the clouds for all of our all the different subscriptions that we have out there. Importantly, obviously, is the amount of files that we've also been able to restore, and it really helps turn a lot of the resellers out there from not only trusted advisors but into heroes. And we've been able to restore roughly 20 billion files over the years. So that's obviously a number that's really near and dear to our heart. A little bit about Carbonite. Within Carbonite holistically, one of our core tenets is really making sure that things that we do is really easy to use, really easy for your clients. They don't have to even think or worry about anything or even realize Carbonite's running in a lot of cases. It's really easy for you. And when we put together our reseller platform, we took this and we applied it to the platform itself. So for those of you that may have used our platform before, the dashboard is incredibly easy to use, really simple, very intuitive, easy to deploy and provision different subscriptions, and really easy to manage your clients' backups that they have with Carbonite. You have the opportunity to sell any of the Carbonite subscriptions that we have. I'm going to go in a few more slides down the road in depth about what those types of subscriptions are. But we have subscriptions that work for residential clients. We have subscriptions that work for SOHO clients and small and medium-sized businesses. So no matter who your client is or how they grow, quite often we have some of resellers that will work with a SOHO. They maybe have 1 or 2 employees. They may be a sole proprietor. But we're able to grow with them and move them up to different packages. We also have a very simple model that we work with resellers with. It's a tiered discount model. So what happens is that our resellers receive 15, 20, or 25% discount off of our list price. The relationship is with you, so all the transactions take place with our resellers. And you're able to go up those incremental tiers by selling more with Carbonite, and we've made it really easy. So anybody between $0 and $2,000 of payments within the last year is at the 15% level. Once you reach $2,000, it goes to the 20% level, and then once you reach 25%, it goes to the 25% level. So trying to make it really easy to work with us there. And then we take people really seriously here at Carbonite. So not only is our system set up in a really easy way, and the program is, but I think people out there will find that working with us is really straightforward, really easy, and hopefully quite enjoyable as well. We have a dedicated account management team, so each one of our resellers has a dedicated channel manager that will work with them. We also have a dedicated line for our support team. About 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, we actually repatriated our entire support team back to the U.S. What we've been able to do with that is we've seen the time on each of our different cases go down dramatically, and the wait time is typically for our resellers less than a minute. So it's really easy to work with us in a lot of different ways. And we've also grown the number of resellers that are using Carbonite in the past 10 months by well over 60%. So we have about 3,400 resellers right now that are working with Carbonite. So to the point that I was making before, a little bit about the products that we have. We have 3 products on the left-hand side that are in purple. These 3 products are Home, Home Plus, and Home Premier. They're really focused toward either residential or SOHO users. How they work is this, is that one subscription works with one computer. But you have an unlimited amount of data that you can back up on that. So if you are working with a sole proprietor or a lawyer that manages his own business, you can work with him, put Carbonite on his desktop. No matter how much data there is, that subscription will work. And it'll back up all the different files that they have. Your clients will also have, if they want to, access to be able to get their data from remote locations. And you're able to do that through any computer that has internet connectivity. So if you have your client that's in Washington, they went on a business trip to California, they didn't bring their computer with them for whatever reason, they're able to get that data from any place and anywhere, or they can get that on a tablet or on a smartphone. So it makes it really easy to make sure that that data that's up in the cloud is not only good from a DR perspective, but it's also really good just to be able to have access to your data. We also have 2 different products that work for business users. That's Business and Business Premier. It works with an unlimited amount of computers, and with Business you get 250 gigabytes, and you can buy incrementally more storage. The price of Business is, the list price is $229 per year. And then if you want to buy more storage, the effective price of more storage is $1 per gigabyte per year. So One of the other core tenets that we have here at Carbonite is affordability. So you're able to affordably make sure that all your clients' data is backed up and put together effectively. We also have Business Premier, which is the same product, an unlimited number of computers, but you're also able to back up file servers, and we also put in another 250 gigabytes, so you have 500 gigabytes of storage total. And it's $5.99 list price per year. Obviously, as a reseller, you get a 15 to 25% discount off of that. And then one of the more exciting things about Carbonite right now is that we also just launched a database backup add-on. This is a very exciting opportunity for us. We literally did this within the last 5 weeks. And what that means is that you're able to work with your clients to back up complex databases like SQL, MySQL, Exchange, Oracle, SharePoint, also able to use Hyper-V machines, and if that's important to your clients as well. So that's another add-on that you can have to the Carbonite solution, and we found that a lot of resellers find this to be very valuable because some of the most important and valuable data that your clients have is really database data. So a little bit about positioning Carbonite to your clients and prospects. Questions that we get all the time, and I think these are questions that really hit home for you all, and I'm sure these are questions that you get, but we wanted to take a few minutes to walk through some of these common questions. One is, when talking with your clients or your prospects, trying to figure out what the cloud solution is that they really need. There's a lot of confusion out there in the marketplace, as you know better than anybody else, between what is backup, what is syncing, what is storage, what does my client really need, and there's different price points, obviously, for that. Carbonite does a great job of backing up systems, and it automatically does that. You don't have to worry about dragging and dropping files into different folders. And it does it, as I mentioned before, at a very affordable price point. There's also syncing solutions that are out there. Typically with the syncing solutions, you do have to move things from folder to folder, move things around, but it's able to sync the different files that you have at different locations. We do have a beta product that is out there right now. If you go to labs.carbonite.com, and that's called Carbonite Currents. It's a free solution that's out there. It allows you to sync all the different files that you have and have used in the last 30 days. So another solution that's out there, it's actually a free solution that's out there that I think a lot of you folks will find very interesting for your clients. And there's also storage, which is effectively an extension of your hard drive. You have to manually select those files to move into the cloud. Typically, these price points on storage are a little bit more expensive than backup, and it's a manual process. It's not an automatic process. But again, these are common questions that we see across the board all the time, and I would assume these are common questions that you're also hearing. The other common question that we get all the time is, okay, we have a computer with you. Again, we're on a business trip or we're with a client. We didn't bring our computer with me or with us. We have our iPad. How do I get access to all the files that I have? And one of the neat things with Carbonite is that anytime, anywhere, as long as you have internet connectivity on a computer or you've downloaded our free app from either the Android or the Apple Store, you're able to get your files anytime and anywhere. So quite often what we've found that happens a lot is that people will take their iPad with them, and then they'll be able to get access into everything that's on their computer, and they can give presentations off their iPad or what have you. So that data that's valuable to you and your clients is always accessible and always easy to get a hold of. And then the other thing that's important is, do you have the ability to restore deleted or damaged computer files? This, again, is where you go from a trusted advisor to a hero. So if something happens to your client's computers, we're here in the Northeast in the U.S., and again, with Hurricane Sandy that happened late last year, this happened quite a bit, unfortunately, to a lot of different clients that are out there. But making sure that you're able to get any file, no matter what happens. If it was accidentally deleted, something happened to a computer was stolen, all that information that your clients have is always backed up and always accessible, and you never have to have that stress that you have to go through to make sure that you're able to get those valuable pieces of data back. So a few things wrapped around packaging Carbonite with your current offerings. One of the statistics that I still find absolutely amazing is that only about two-thirds of VARs offer storage or backup and disaster recovery as a managed service, which to a lot of different VARs and MSPs out there, this is really a pillar to the packages that they put together, and really an absolutely critical piece to be able to put together as any sort of solution that you work with your clients with. And what we find here is that most of our resellers sell Carbonite in three distinctly different ways. And these ways really vary depending on the audience that they're working with and the type of relationship that they have. One way is certainly to sell Carbonite discreetly. So if you're working with a residential user or a sole proprietor or a SOHO, you may want to sell them a discrete solution. You don't have that consistent relationship with them. So you're selling them a different solution that's there. Secondly, you can sell Carbonite as part of a bigger bundle. We see it quite often bundled with antivirus, increasingly bundled with Microsoft Office 360, different sorts of solutions that are out there that you're able to increase the value that you bring to your clients, but also the revenue that you bring to yourself. But that all being said, where we see the resellers being the most effective is really where you're able to sell Carbonite as part of a bigger bundle where you layer on different professional services with that. And what I mean by that specifically is that if you look at Carbonite here, in this case is the hub, and you're putting together some sort of backup or storage solution out there, what are all the different things that you could start providing to your clients that add more value to them and add more revenue to yourself? You certainly you can put together a storage analysis or a storage assessment to make sure that you understand what their storage needs are, the requirements are, and different sorts of services that are out there. You can look at hardware, either services or servers or NAS devices. What are the different types of hardware or software that your client needs? Different sorts of implementation costs as far as putting this all together. And then how do you maintain that over a period of time, either a monthly fee or annual fee, to be able to do that? And what we found out is that if you're able to do this effectively, you're really able to drive up the value, point one. Point two is you become absolutely critical to what your clients need and become truly an extension to them as a company. And thirdly, again, you're able to get a lot more revenue in the door. The other thing that I think is really important out here is that, especially to all you resellers that have been selling hardware over the course of time or software over the course of time, what we have also seen a lot of folks do is actually effectively give away Carbonite and other sorts of solutions, and then put together a monthly service fee with that or an annual service fee with that. Why is that important? Because from a financial perspective with SMBs, you're able to move from CapEx to OpEx, and it makes it a little bit easier for them to spend even more money with you. So think about the ways that you're able to really put together different solutions, put together the solutions that make sense, and put together solutions where they're able to get more purse strings, so to speak, to be able to drive up more revenue. A couple other things with leveraging Carbonite solutions to gain additional revenue. One of the things that I mentioned a second ago was really looking at your client as they grow and how Carbonite works with that. So again, if you're working with a sole proprietor or a SOHO, really small business, you may want to start off with Carbonite Home. And as they grow, you want to put together some sort of really lightweight on-prem solution like an external hard drive. You can go from Carbonite Home to Carbonite Home Plus, where it will not only back up the desktop, but it will also back up that external hard drive. And then as the amount of data becomes more and more critical, they may want more of an assurance that if a natural disaster takes place, I can get my data back within 24 hours or one business day. And we have Carbonite Home Premier, which also provides a courier recovery service where we will literally put all the data on an external hard drive, ship that over to you overnight so you can get your client back up and running. But the point of this slide really is as they are growing, you're able to grow with them. And as they grow from a SOHO into a true small business, you're able to do the same thing as well. So you're able to take that Carbonite home subscription and work to turn that into a business subscription. They've gone from, let's say, 3 to 10 employees over the course of a year. Carbonite Business gives you an unlimited amount of desktops that you can work with. It also gives you a dashboard that you can work with that's a little bit easier to work with multiple computers because it's wrapped around a single account. And you can really work with your client to grow their business and obviously get more revenue for yourself as well. It's still an affordable price point. And as they've gone into Carbonite Business, they may start adding file servers. They may have more complex databases that they're looking to back up. They may have a Hyper-V machine. They may want to have some sort of ability to have a system state recovery. So you're able to continue to move up the food chain as your client grows. And the key thing here really is that you don't have to worry about going back and forth and having all these different types of solutions. We can work with you on that. So it makes your life a lot easier. They're used to a single solution that works with them, and it's a really easy way to grow with your clients. So overall, one of the key things to all of our resellers out there is to really build that relationship. It's really to help guide them as they make more and more IT purchasing decisions, service decisions, and support decisions, and to build yourself up as that trusted advisor. And you all have heard that trusted advisor term over and over and over again. Our hope here is that you're not only the trusted advisor, but in case there ever is a time of need or peril, and hopefully that never happens, but you can turn yourself from that trusted advisor to that hero. Because you're able to get that company back up and running. And one of the stats that's not in here, but statistics that I hear quite a bit, is that FEMA did a study, I want to say it was about 18 months ago, of all the different companies that had natural disasters hit them, small and medium-sized businesses. And what they were able to find out, unfortunately, is 4 out of 10 of those businesses, once they're closed down from a natural disaster, never get back up and running again, and that's certainly not what we want. And the SMB's most valuable data in a lot of circumstances, or most valuable asset in a lot of circumstances, I should say, is their data. So if you're able to get your clients back up and running easily, quickly, your relationship with them goes to a whole new level. And then you're able to suggest and implement new technologies to, again, increase not only business efficiencies, but also increase your sales. And then by having this cloud solution, you don't have to worry about different pieces of hardware that's involved, making sure all the systems are compatible with each other. You just set it up on their desktop, get them up and running, and Carbonite really does the rest for you. And you're able to easily manage that through the reseller dashboard and make sure that everything runs smoothly. So you can, again, focus on other valuable things that are important to you and your client. So to wrap it up, Carbonite will help you in a few different ways. It really helps you develop your relationship and go from, again, that trusted advisor to that hero. It gives you really, really simple and easy to use account management tools, and allows you to package different solutions as your client grows, so you're able to put together more revenue and more value to your clients. So a little bit of information about Carbonite if you don't already have it. Feel free to give us a call. You can either go to our website at carbonite.com, and up on the top nav, you'll see a place for partnerships. Click down, there's a reseller section. You can fill out a form there if you want information about the program. That said, really the easiest way to find out information about the program is to give us a call. Talk to one of our channel managers, have them speak to you about what the different needs that you have are. and really so we can get to understand what those needs are and see if we can work together in a productive way. Or you can certainly email us at resellers@carbonite.com. So I think that's everything there, Harry.
Okay, well, I'm not going to let you off that easy, David. So you don't get away that quickly. So a little bit of housekeeping, folks. Now remember, we are giving away an Android tablet to one lucky attendee. So I'm going to have Heather over in the control room. Yeah, can you spin the wheel? Spin the random number generator on her computer screen. So, and our employees of SMB Nation, Carbonite, and their ad agencies are not eligible for this sweepstakes. So with that said, if we could, Heather, text me over the name when you get a chance. I also want to do a shout out here for folks to use the chat feature to submit questions. We do have a little bit of extra time to entertain your questions today, and I have a couple of my own questions. So David, this is we have another client who I won't name out of respect, and you'd want the same respect. We have another client in a totally different line of work, totally different realm. So not even remotely a competitor. In fact, probably would be a good cooperator with you, if that's such a word. And they had some observations about one of your slides, a couple slides back, about, you know, are you necessarily going to go buy a new Bayliner boat with adding Carbonite to your portfolio and distributing that to your customers? I'm not sure you are, and here's the point. It's another conversation. It's a portfolio addition. It makes you a more well-rounded MSP or IT pro to offer the Carbonite solution. And this other client is kind of in the same boat, you know, that they have a very cost-effective solution, a tool to make sure your PC runs happy. And you know, are you gonna be the next billionaire off of that as an MSP? I'm not sure if I'm going to go on the record of that. But David, I wanted to kind of key in on that. This is a very attractive and handsome portfolio addition. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. And I think to your point, you know, it's amazing, Harry, the amount of conversations that I personally have with companies that are either complementary or ancillary to what we have. Because at the end of the day, as an MSP or VAR, what you want to do is be able to provide a complete solution, because different things happen that are unexpected, and what you never want to do is be in a position where things happen that aren't good, you know, in really simplistic terms. So, yep. You know, Carbonite really is, you know, if you don't have an online backup solution, it certainly makes a lot of sense to have an online backup solution. Carbonite, you know, I think makes sense within that situation. If you already have an online backup solution, the solution you have may make the most amount of sense, or certainly look at Carbonite. You know, we feel it's a solution that's easy to use and affordable. You know, certainly makes sense as well. But it's continuing to add the tools in the tool chest, so to speak, to be able to offer your clients the most comprehensive solution that they need. Yeah, exactly. My next question is kind of along the line. I might have missed it, so forgive me, and double forgive me, as I'm right on top of our conference this afternoon. So if my ears and my mouth aren't working very well, forgive me. But they better start working by the keynote tomorrow, let me tell you. But the do you have, and if I missed it, I apologize, is there an opportunity for the listeners, the IT pro, the reseller, to do any kind of 30-day trial or try before you buy, to actually kind of eat their own dog food, get into your world, and then be able to speak about it authoritatively? I'm just curious. Yeah, so I would recommend two things there, Harry, in that situation. One is that if there's any reseller out there right now that is interested in buying, contact us and we'll give you an additional 10% if you mention SMB Nation, point one. Point two is contact the channel manager on our team here. If you want to do a trial, we can help set you up. Because at the end of the day, or if you want to do something, we can help you with whatever that is. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you understand the products that you're recommending. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable with those solutions. And quite frankly, I want to show you the value because I work at Carbonite because I believe in what we do and I believe in the value that it brings. And the best way to show value is by doing that. So certainly contact us and we'll help make sure that that happens.
Okay. And then as an aside, folks, be sure to queue up your questions. Again, we have an extra couple of minutes today. As an aside, by the way, David, I want to give a shout out to the city of Boston. I wouldn't want the opportunity to pass without recognizing we're proud of you out there. You guys took a half a step back, but hopefully 2 steps forward with the recent incident. Hope everything's going okay. Hope no one was impacted at Carbonite. So didn't want that to pass. So I hope all is getting better for you.
No, we really appreciate that.
Okay, we have a winner. Heather ran the random number generator, so we have Bob Powell from Infotech Systems in Tennessee. Sir, you've won an Android tablet today, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. Tennessee, that's where my friend Robin Robbins lives, who does some good work in the channel, so that's pretty cool. Let me go back to my control panel. And again, folks, encourage any questions you might have. Aaron, I think you're on the phone. Aaron and Dave, if you're seeing some, let me know. Folks, while we're waiting for those questions, we have on the screen the contact information for Carbonite. The Carbonite story is kind of a funny one because they've actually been a community member for some time. They've actually had a conversation with the community longer than you might think. What I would offer, and David, maybe you can speak to this, is within the last year, maybe within the last 6 months, you've had a renewed conversation with vigor in the community. But you're actually not new to the community. Is that about right?
No, that sums it up really well here. We've been around, like I mentioned earlier, since 2005. So if you look at cloud companies, cloud backup companies, we've been around, one of the longest, if not the longest. And we've had a program that's been out there for many, many years. So we've worked with a lot of folks that are out there, and we've continued to pour a lot of assets and resources into it. And to your point, within the last, I'll say 9 to 10 months, this has been the #1 priority in a lot of ways for the company. So we are continuing to try to figure out ways to improve the experience, not only for our resellers' clients, but for our resellers themselves by providing more tools and also listening very closely to what the market needs are to try to figure out what we can do to help out. So I think one of the things that people will find out very quickly is that we are within this space, we're one of the bigger companies. But that being said, we're also one of the most nimble companies and quickest to move.
Yep, I give you that. Well, I'm going to start to do some housekeeping in the absence of questions from our beloved audience. I'm going to do a little housekeeping. And yes, David.
I have a few of the questions I can go through if you'd like me to.
Oh, okay. Thank you, David. Please do.
Perfect. So we have a question from Benjamin, and Benjamin's asking about how Carbonite can verify, and what sort of verification do we have that the backups are actually taking place? And that's a great question. And what we have been able to do in 2 different ways, actually 3 different ways, is to verify the backup. But one way is your clients have the assurance that their information is being backed up in 2 ways. One is that we have a patent on this, that whenever a file is backed up, there's a little green dot that's next to that file. And what we've heard from many resellers is that their clients absolutely love it, because when you see that green dot, you know that file is backed up and is up in the cloud. And if there's a yellow dot next to that, which means it's not yet backed up, you can right-click on that file and automatically back it up right away, or you can wait usually minutes later until we do the automatic backup cycle goes through. So your clients have that assurance there. They also have the assurance whenever they're doing some sort of remote access that those files are backed up. From a reseller perspective, there's a few things that you have. One is you get alerts showing that the server hasn't been backed up in X amount of time, whatever that amount of time is. So you get alerts when things are not happening, but you also are able to go into your dashboard and you're able to quickly see what is backed up and all the information that's there, any sort of status information of what is being backed up, when the last backup was. So you have the peace of mind that everything is there, and if there's an issue, we are sending you information about any sort of issues that are out there so you're completely aware. One of the things that we see every once in a while is, servers, for example, should always be backing up. It's not like a desktop that you may, or a notebook that you may unplug from the internet for a while. Server's always plugged in, so to speak. So if you see a server that's not being backed up, we'll ping you, let you know that that's not being backed up and that there's a problem, and it could be, internet connectivity is down or what have you, but you're always assured that that information is working. The next question we have is about Canada and support and pricing. So we actually have a lot of Canadian resellers that are from Canada, and our support team here is located in the U.S., but it's located in Maine and in Massachusetts. Actually, not in the main office, not too far from the Canadian border, but we're open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Really easy for our Canadian friends to get in touch with us. On the site itself, everything, though, is done in U.S. dollars, so just to be clear with that. But we have a lot of Canadian resellers that work with us and work very well with our Canadian friends. Let me see. Next question is, oh, I see. It's from Pat, and it's, do we need to purchase a bulk storage in advance to get our clients signed up, or do we do it one at a time, or how do we do it? So what happens is that if your client, let's say your client has 1 terabyte of data, just making up that number, you can certainly buy that bulk storage up front. So you buy that, you buy the Carbonite Business or Business Premier package, buy the additional storage. Within your dashboard itself, you will always see what is needed, if they need more. You also see the percentage of the total storage that they're at. And we also send you emails to let you know that as well. And then you're able to purchase additional storage at any point in time with your reseller discount. So what I would recommend you do is that you get to about 85% or so, 90%. Figure this out, what makes the most amount of sense for you and your clients, and then buy additional storage at that point in time. And it's really easy to put together. And then go from there. Let me see. We have a question here about the. Let me see. We have a question here. Can Carbonite do complete server backup? And this is from David. So the Carbonite database backup add-on, I talked about that a little bit briefly, but it's able to back up all your live applications that you have. You're able to back up all your open databases as well, like SQL, MySQL, etc. But you're able to also, when you do all your live applications, it'll back up your Active Directory, your registries, and you're able to do a system state recovery. So it's not a full bare metal restore, but it's pretty close. You're able to do a system state recovery for all the data points that you need to have within your server. We have a question here from Chuck. He's asking, is there a reseller demo available? We can certainly work with you on that. What I'd recommend that you do, Chuck, is contact Carbonite. Our phone number is up on the screen right now at 877-391-4759. Talk to a channel manager. They can either do a demonstration for you. They could also set you up as a Carbonite reseller, and as an authorized Carbonite reseller, you also have access to our resource center for resellers, where there's a lot of product information, a lot of marketing information that's in there. We can get you started on a demo. I think Harry mentioned that earlier, trying to see how the program works. But we can have one of our channel managers walk you through how the product works, understand how you would like to see your clients use the product, and making sure that we're hitting home on the different items that you need to be effective with your client. We have another question here from, let me see, from Nick. And Nick is asking if the slide deck is going to be available after the call. And absolutely. So we can send around, we'll get the information from Harry, and we can send around the slide deck in a PDF format after the call. If you have any questions on the deck or want me or somebody else on the team to go through it deeper, certainly could have that conversation as well, but we can get that over to you, and would love to do that. We have a question here from Chuck, and he's asking about the file security. Obviously, file security is near and dear to our hearts. One of our core tenets that we have is security. And what we do here is that we actually make sure that all the files that we're moving up into the cloud, it's encrypted before it even leaves the computer. So we actually do an encryption on your computer itself. Then it's sent over the internet. It goes into our data center, and we do another encryption at that point in time. So you're able to make sure that it's encrypted, it's really secure from that perspective. The other thing that you have available, depending on who your clients are and what your requirements are, is that you can also have a private encryption key. So obviously with HIPAA, a lot of the medical firms that are out there, or financial services firms, not required by HIPAA, but required to make sure this information is secure, you can have a private encryption key. Obviously, by having a private encryption key, though, maintaining that private encryption key is absolutely required. And what I would recommend for that is saving it in 2 different locations, maybe on a thumb drive and putting it in a safety deposit box and putting it somewhere else. But really making sure that that private encryption key is secure, because obviously if you lose that, with Carbonite you could do a password restore or what have you. If you lose a private encryption key, obviously that's not a good thing. But that being said, your data is incredibly secure, and you're compliant from a HIPAA perspective. Another question from Jason asking about the number of data centers that we have. So we have multiple data centers spread throughout the U.S., and we're continuing to grow the number of data centers that we have. We have some of those data centers in the Northeast. We have some data centers in the Southwest. We're currently looking at adding even more data centers, but we have data centers scattered throughout the U.S. They are all right now in the United States. We have a question here from Pat. Do I, as a reseller, have to pre-purchase a monthly or yearly amount of storage and then sell to my clients, or do I just sign up directly when they're ready to start the service? So Carbonite works as a subscription model, so it's based off of having authorization codes. So how does that work? That works that we sell 1-year, 2-year, and 3-year subscriptions. So wait until the time that you've actually sold your client on Carbonite. At that point in time, purchase Carbonite from the reseller dashboard. You'll receive the reseller discount, and then you can get your client up and running at that point in time. So you don't have to pre-purchase. You don't have to worry about anything from that perspective. Go ahead and sell your client. Then you have the assurance at that point in time that you're going to get the revenue, and then purchase Carbonite after the fact. So I think those are all the questions that I'm seeing right now, Harry. If I missed any, I'll go through some of the questions after the fact with the spreadsheet that you sent, and we'll make sure the team gets back to everybody. But those are all the questions that I'm seeing right now.
Absolutely. Gang, you'll be receiving a thank you email shortly, and we'll coordinate with Carbonite to get that out and some additional information out to you. Couple of final housekeeping thoughts. So again, thank you for attending. Good news, if jumping on Southwest Airlines is not practical for you to attend tomorrow through Sunday, the 7th Annual SMB Nation Spring Conference, still go to our site, spring.smbnation.com, and you can sign up for selected speeches that are going to be broadcast complimentary by VARVED, our partner, and you can get more information on the site. So there's a chance for you to hop on board, grab, let's call it some of the good stuff, some of the good content, and you could do so from your home office and your regular office. So with that said, I bet everybody, you know, in this day and age, David, this is going to sound terribly wrong, but a good meeting is a shorter meeting than you expected. And I mean that in a kind way, because everybody can get back to work. So thank you, Dave. Seriously, thank you for being efficient today with your presentation. I know that above all is appreciated. Folks, back to the salt mine. David, we'll talk soon, and thank you so much for coming on board and providing some academic and educational content. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Harry, and for everybody who joined, thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know your day is busy, so I certainly appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Well, the webinar is now over. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.